Hey guys, Dominic from Genuine Reels, and today I'm revisiting something a little bit different. I'm revisiting some martial arts movies, particularly Bruce Lee movies, and that is Bruce Lee's first two starring roles that are Fists of Fury and The Chinese Connection. Now these recently got Shout Factory Collector's Edition releases. There have been many different releases of these over the years. I got into Bruce Lee movies when I was like in high school, and I remember buying very cheap editions, which I still have, that were like a couple of bucks each. On eBay I bought them, and they were the cheapest editions of these. I remember they weren't great quality. I believe they are good time home video releases. I didn't buy these movies ever again. It was basically those DVD copies. I got into Bruce Lee. I owned the whole DVD set, basically Enter the Dragon, Game of Death, these two, Return of the Dragon, and I felt that, hey, maybe it's time to buy the Bruce Lee collection over. Shout Factory about a year ago released another box set of these, so this is basically yet again another reissue from them. The only good thing, if you did buy that box set, these are 4K restorations, and of course they are under the Shout Select label, which is basically their version of Scream Factories for regular movies. The only thing, if you've noticed with Shout Select, is not every one of these has a slipcover, which is odd. The first release, which was a movie called Buckaroo Banzai, had one. A couple of other random ones had one. These two do not. But enough of that. Let's talk about these movies. Let's go into the history. Fist of Fury came out in 1971 in Hong Kong. This was Bruce Lee's first starring role. Bruce Lee basically comes to Bangkok and starts working in an ice factory where he finds out there's some corrupt shit going down. There's some co-workers disappearing. And then, you know what? He's got to kick some ass. What I like about this movie is it's a little bit different from future Bruce Lee movies, where when you watch it, he's kind of on the fence. You know, he's kind of like not the perfect guy in this movie. You know, he's kind of like, oh, I'm going to help out because some shit's going down. And then he's like, oh, wait, they're throwing money in my face. They're throwing a promotion in my face. You know what? I'm going to stick with them. And it's not until later in the film, the final act, that he really starts kicking ass. Fist of Fury is actually not the same name used in Hong Kong. In Hong Kong, the movie is called The Big Boss, and it was released as The Big Boss. Now, this is going to be a little confusing when I get to the other movie, because there's some similarities in the original title versus the new title. But anyway, this release is amazing. As far as the video quality, it just looks great. This is the best this movie's ever looked, and it's probably next to a 4K Ultra HD DVD, whatever the hell those are. Next to that, this movie getting that kind of release, this is probably the best it's going to look. You also got commentary from a film expert. You got some alternate openings, alternate scenes, some interviews. And this is definitely a good pickup. As far as the movie, it's a really good movie. It's not my favorite Bruce Lee movie, but it's definitely good, and it's definitely, you get to see him in the early stages of his career. Like I said, his first starring role. Definitely worth picking up too, price point wise, because these are only about like 14 bucks you get them for. Like I said, no slipcover, so if you find these without a slipcover, it didn't have a slipcover. But there is reversible Hong Kong artwork, which is pretty cool. I'm going to show you. I'll show you the inside version. That's basically it, and as you can see in there, it says The Big Boss, so that is the alternate title with the cool Chinese writing. But anyway, moving right along. The Chinese Connection. Now, this was Bruce Lee's second film, but interestingly enough, I believe, if I have this correct, this was the first one released in the US. So actually what Shout Factory has done here, if you notice, they number the sides of their Shout Select. They've actually made the Chinese Connection 10 and Fist of Fury 11. So I guess they're doing it the Americanized order. But anyway, the Chinese Connection now, this movie, oh my god, this movie is like, I like this a lot more than Fists of Fury. I'm going to keep calling it Fist of Fury because I'll just call it by the American name. Big Boss, whatever you want to call it, but I like it a lot more. This is basically the story of Bruce Lee, who goes to Shanghai and finds out his master, his trainer, his teacher was killed. we're not going to spoil that, but he died, let's say, of natural causes, and then he basically goes there, and there's a vendetta against a Japanese school. It's Chinese versus Japanese, and Bruce Lee kicks ass this whole frigging movie. I love every minute of it. This one looks even better than that one does. The 4K looks phenomenal. This movie looks like almost like a brand new movie for being, this is 1972. But like I said, the titles are a little different. Now this one in Hong Kong is called Fist of Fury. So it's a little bit confusing. But guys, these are two definite must pickups if you're a Bruce Lee fan. There's more coming. They are doing 4K restorations of Return of the Dragon and of Game of Death, which of course I am going to dedicate one video to Game of Death when I get the time, because that is a movie that's a mess. And obviously if you're a Bruce Lee fan, you know that there's really only 4 real Bruce Lee movies, not counting Game of Death. But guys, definitely pick these up. If I have to give these movies a star rating, Fist of Fury is a 4 out of 5-star movie, and The Chinese Connection is 4.5 stars out of 5 for me. Definitely good Blu-rays. Definitely pick those up. And look out for another Bruce Lee video in the future. Guys, if you like this video, check out the other videos. Check out my comedy sketches. I do some humor. I put on wigs. I dance around. Kind of. I also do a lot of movie reviews and some other stuff. So guys, check out the other videos. And of course, if you like what you see, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe, guys. Thank you for watching.